Hey, Tubies. This is Bob Hickman. Well, I am sitting here and I am looking at my silver moon pendant. Check this out. Isn't that cool? Man in the moon. Made in silver. I love the moon, and I've been meditating on that. And for those of you who haven't seen, I recently put up horoscopes for March, and so we have a lot of stuff in there about the moon. But today I've been thinking about stuff other than just horoscopes in the moon. I've been thinking about life on the moon. And I've been sitting here looking at this very interesting picture. This is an artist's rendition of an astronaut on the moon. And you'll notice in the background here, there are look like some buildings down here. And supposedly this is to represent like structures that were built on the moon. And this deals with some of our topic today. Now, a lot of you have been writing me and you say, Psychic Bob, tell us more about UFOs. Tell us more about aliens. Well, as I have predicted and said in many years past, we are really at a turning point with the knowledge of aliens and the full-scale disclosure of alien presences. And interestingly, most of our culture focuses on the gray aliens, which we've talked about here. But I discovered another race of aliens that somehow skipped my radar. I like to think I'm up on all of these things, but I found a new race of aliens. Well, they're not new. They're new to me. Some of you may know of them. The name of this new race of aliens is called the Moon Eyes. Yes, the Moon Eyes, or the Moon Eye aliens. And what's interesting about these aliens is they claim to have a connection to the moon. They supposedly live on the moon or have lived on the moon. And very interesting, these have a strong connection to American history. A lot of aliens are seen all over the world, but interestingly, the Moon Eye aliens seem to be very centered mostly within the United States. And as I've been researching this, I found some very, very interesting historical situations. Many of you know about the Native American tribes, and there was a tribe called the Cherokee tribe. And the Cherokees claim to have had interactions with the Moon Eye aliens. In fact, the Cherokees are the ones who created the name Moon Eyes. And let me put a picture up here for you guys. So as you can see, these aliens are interesting because they have very blue skin, which actually matches with what the Native Americans said. They said they were a race of humanoid people. They had blue skin, and their eyes were very luminous and kind of silvery. And interestingly, the Native Americans said that the Moon Eye aliens oftentimes would not come out at day. They were very sensitive to light and would mostly visit by literally the light of the moon or at nighttime. They were supposedly a friendly race, not violent. They kind of kept to themselves. Now, what's interesting is this alien race has been seen in predominantly two locations in the United States. One was in the Appalachian Mountains, which is west of where I live here in Virginia. And the other area of concentration for this group was down in Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains. So both of these regions, interestingly, are known for their caves and their caverns. And according to witnesses, the Moon Eye aliens like to live in the caves underground because they're away from the bright sunlight. And supposedly, as I said, their eyes are kind of silvery and luminous, so they're kind of like the moon. That's where the name comes from. And they also only come out at moonlight. Now, what's really gets interesting is that this connection, as it unfolds, gets even more strange and fascinating. According to other people who have literally come upon the moon eyes, some of them have seen them while out hiking, and struck up conversations. Supposedly they're very fluent in English and very friendly and approachable. And they have told people that they are part of an antediluvian society. And I said, what's antediluvian? Well, this goes back, and we're going to use the Bible for a minute here. In the book of the Bible, and I believe it's in Genesis, it talks about the flooding of the earth. And there's the story of Noah. Now, some people are going to say, oh, Bob, that's a bunch of fiction. But really, actually, scientists have discovered that there does appear to have been a world cataclysmic event several thousand years ago, known as the Great Flood. It's recorded in many religious literatures. Well, interestingly, the moon eye aliens have said that they were on the earth and were part of a very advanced society. They had technology such as computers and lasers and spaceships, and they were on the earth at the time of the flood. Supposedly they went into these underground caves, and many of them escaped, and somehow the caves were protected from the flooding. And some of them left the earth and went to the moon. Now, where I'm not clear, maybe some of you can help me out. There are two different stories. One say that they came from the moon and settled on the earth, and then at the time of the Great Flood they went back to the moon. Whereas another story I've encountered says they originated on the earth and then they went to the moon. Either way, it's interesting because there seems to be a connection between the moon eyes and the moon. So, now this takes us back to now get into more modern history. So we've got the Native Americans. We have just hikers in the mountains, meeting them and learning about the connection even beyond the Cherokee, going back to the time of Noah. And then when we come into our more modern era, interestingly, some very credible witnesses have claimed to have seen the moon eye aliens. You say, who's that, Bob? Well, let me throw out a date to you here. July 21st, 1969. Where were you on that day? I was a little baby in my stroller. But I remember I was jamming to Janis Joplin. No, seriously. July 21st, 1969 is when we had our first mission to the moon. And interestingly, the astronauts on board were Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And they have both claimed that when they sat down on the moon, they were very shocked because they saw light coming from one of the craters and discovered that there were large, massive, like 2-mile wide alien spacecraft. And it looks like an entire spaceport was built on the moon. Neil Armstrong also claimed to have seen structures such as buildings in a large city. And supposedly the moon was fully inhabited by these aliens. Now, interestingly, they match the description of the moon eyes. They were supposedly light blue skinned, humanoid in appearance. It's not clear to me if the astronauts actually had interaction with the aliens. It doesn't seem like they did. I think it was more of an observation at a distance. But Neil Armstrong has gone on record many times saying that there's more on the moon than what was reported. Many people who personally knew him said that changed his whole worldview about life, that when he came back he knew there were other people. And according to him, to Neil Armstrong, the CIA and the United States government basically hushed that up. And they basically, supposedly there were transmissions where he exclaimed, "Oh my God, I can't believe what we're seeing, they're here." And supposedly those transmissions were scrambled and it was cut out. I have to go back and listen to some of the tapes on the lunar landing. But I can believe that's true. Neil Armstrong said in his private life many times this was real, and at the time he was literally told you can't talk about it. And, because he was active military, he had to follow duties. And his partner Buzz Aldrin also did witnessed the same thing and testified the same story. So both of them claim to have encountered aliens on the moon. So, are there aliens on the moon? I don't know. I think there's certainly a good case for it, though, with two people like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin supporting it. Interestingly, many people now, are into astronomy and telescopes, and I've seen online even a few pictures of people claiming that with the super high power telescopes, they're now picking up what look like structures on the moon that are not, just random rocks. They're like structured like a building of some sort. So I think there's something to it, but I'm just curious if any of you heard about the moon eye aliens. This is something that kind of escaped me. I'd heard stories in the past about alien cities on the moon, but I didn't know which race it was. But now it seems that this alien race is still on the Earth and has been here for thousands of years, and also apparently on the moon, at least since 1969, probably before. So, this is interesting. I do think in the coming years, really within 2 to 3 years, we're going to start to see all of this come out. I think that there's just too much. And as I said, over this year, sightings are going to be increasing. Now, interestingly, one of my viewers on Instagram wrote to me, he tracks all this. He said, Bob, do you know that sightings this year are up over like 300 or 400% from the previous year? Well, that's interestingly, that matches my prediction. So we are starting to see a lot more alien activity. Fortunately for us, the moon eye aliens seem to be really nice and very friendly. So let's hope that we learn more about this, and I hope that any of you have had any experiences with it. Will feel free to come forward and share your stories. If there are any NASA people watching that are connected to this, maybe you know something and you feel like you really want to share it, we'd love to hear more about it. So anyways, guys, I just want to bring that to you today, and I'll put a picture up here again for you so you can see the moon eyes, or the moon eye aliens. Well, guys, listen, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so very much for being here at Spirit Channel. Listen, keep it here on Thursday. We got messages from the spirit world coming. You don't want to miss that. And if you haven't, check out your horoscope. It's the video right before this one. And also, for those of you who are writing about joining the Order of the Purple Cord, I am getting your letters. I'm getting a lot of mail, so I'm playing catch up on that. So not to worry. I will get back to you and let you know I got your applications. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, get your certificate, read about the order, send me your email, and you can join our order. Anyways, guys, I'm so glad you're here. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. I'll see you back here on Thursday for messages from the spirit world. In the meantime, tell me in the box below, are you familiar with the moon eye aliens? Have you ever heard of them? Do you know about them? What do you think about the life on the moon? Are there cities there? Have you heard about that? I'd love to hear your views on it. Anyway, share it with me below. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. Blessings to you all.